Hey, real quick, before we dive into today's episode, if you've been feeling like your brand needs a little love, but you're not quite sure where to start, I have just the tool you need. The Standout Brand Audit Bot is an AI-powered guided audit that shows you exactly what's working, what's not, and how to strengthen your brand using my proven Standout brand system. In 10 minutes or less, you'll walk away with clear next steps to move your brand forward with purpose. It's completely free. Just head to the show notes to grab the link and get started. If you have ever gone down the rabbit hole of searching endlessly on Google for what platform should I build my website on, you know that it gets overwhelming really fast. Between WordPress, Wix, Showit, Squarespace, Kajabi, Webflow, and on and on and on and on, everyone has an opinion, and it's really hard to decide what the right platform for you is. Today, I'm sharing about two platforms that I build websites on exclusively. That is Squarespace and Kajabi, and how you can figure out which one is right for you. Welcome to the Six Figure Brand Podcast, where each week we're pulling back the curtain on what it really takes to build a six-figure business as an online service provider. I'm your host, Morgan. I'm a branding expert, online agency owner, mom of two, and military spouse, and I'm obsessed with helping entrepreneurs like you understand the ins and outs of branding so that you can use it to grow your business without sacrificing your sanity. Whether you're just starting out or focused on scaling, we're diving into everything you need to build a profitable and sustainable online business. Let's get to it. The what website platform should I use dilemma is truly a tale as old as time, or at least as old as the internet. It is by far one of the most common questions I get from potential clients, people who listen to this podcast, and people who I'm just chatting with when I'm networking and things like that. The overwhelming number of both options and opinions out there makes this really, really confusing. And a lot of the comparison content out there is really just comparing features and not actually helping you make a decision. My answer to this is pretty simple. If you want to work with me, you have to build your website on either Squarespace or Kajabi. Today, I'm going to walk you through why that is and then help you figure out which of those two options is the right fit for you. My very first website that I ever built was like a hand-coded portfolio website that I had to do as part of one of my design classes I took in college. When I graduated, I needed something to share with potential employers, and so I built a new portfolio site on Wix. And it was fine. I liked it. Okay. I wasn't really in the business of building websites at that point, so it worked for what I needed. Keep in mind, this is 2015. In 2016, I got a job off of Upwork to build a Squarespace website. I had never used Squarespace before, but I was confident that I could figure it out. And that is where this journey begins. So I built that first Squarespace website. Like I said, in 2016, I think I charged like $300 for it. And Squarespace was an entirely different animal than it is now. But I really enjoyed it. It was easy enough for me to figure out. I built a beautiful website pretty simply, and it was easy for my client to use. So at that point, I was kind of hooked, and I have been building sites on Squarespace ever since. Kajabi kind of came in a little bit later. Sort of same thing happened. I got a lead for a client whose website was already in Kajabi. I was very transparent with them that I did not know how to use Kajabi, but I was happy to learn if they were willing to be a little bit patient with me. They were. I sort of figured it out as I went for that project, and now I'm a Kajabi girl as well. There are a lot of options out there. Like I have already outlined Showit, WordPress, Wix, Webflow, GoDaddy, which I would highly, highly not recommend. And all of them have their place. They're all great. They're all fine. It is not realistic for me personally to be an expert in all of these. So if you come to me and you're really adamant that you want your site on Showit or WordPress or Wix, I'm happy to refer you to somebody else, and that's totally cool. My zone of genius is Squarespace and Kajabi, and I'm going to talk you through why I love those two so much. First and foremost is design quality and ability to really bring your brand to life online. The visual output matters a lot to me. And both platforms do a really good job of me being able to bring your brand to life in the form of a website. Now, I will say that Showit, WordPress, and Wix also do a good job of this. For me, it feels easier on Squarespace and Kajabi. Reliability and customer service, I think, is next. I have had to reach out to customer service many, many times on both of these platforms, and I have not once ever been let down. I think they've been in business long enough to know that they're not going anywhere. They've both made a lot of really great improvements to their product. And again, when you need help with something, they will help you. And that is huge for me as somebody who passes things off to their clients for them to manage on their own. To piggyback off of that, they are both very, 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 very user-friendly for my clients. The people who I work with don't typically have the budget or desire to keep a website manager on their team full time. So they need to be able to make updates and use their website themselves. And I think that Squarespace and Kajabi both do a great job of this, both because the platforms are just very user friendly, but also because they have a ton of super helpful tutorials and trainings and resources that make this really easy on my clients. And finally, between these two platforms, they pretty much cover any need that a client of mine could have for a website. I have never run into an issue where a client wanted a functionality on their website and it was not available on either Squarespace or Kajabi. So that is reassuring to me. Again, I will caveat with, I do not build e-commerce websites. So if you sell physical products, I am not your girl. You should probably be building your website on Shopify if that's the case. And again, I don't build in Shopify. Happy to refer you out. But for the service providers I work with, Squarespace or Kajabi can do the job 10 times out of 10. The reason why I have chosen to specialize in two platforms and two platforms only is because it means that I can get to know them really, really well and become a true expert. There are web designers out there that will say, oh, I'm an expert in like all of the platforms. And they'll list like 10 platforms. And maybe they are. For me, I can't spread myself that thin. Like there's no way that I can keep up with the updates to 5 different website platforms and really be giving the best service in all of them. So it works best for me to just pick 2 that I love, that work well for me, that work well for my clients, and really double down on those. Now, before we get into how to choose a platform, I think it helps to understand what they're actually built for, because Squarespace and Kajabi were built for entirely different goals. Squarespace is a website builder first. It was designed to build beautiful, flexible, accessible, easy for anyone to use, professionally branded websites. It does now offer things like courses and memberships and email marketing and e-commerce and some different add-ons. But the takeaway I want you to have here is that Squarespace is a website builder. Kajabi is a digital product business platform. It was built for coaches, course creators, people who sell digital products first and foremost. And they have a website feature. So you'll notice that's the difference. Squarespace is website first, additional features second. Kajabi is those additional features first and website second. Neither is better. It really just depends on your specific business and what your priorities are and what you want to be using your website for. So how do we choose? The first question I would ask yourself is, what is your primary revenue model? If you're a service provider doing done-for-you work or even selling like group coaching that's done through Zoom, I would say that Squarespace is almost always the best answer for you. It is built to showcase your work, tell your story, and convert those visitors into inquiries in the form of either filling out a website form, booking a call with you, etc. If courses and memberships and group programs and digital products are your primary revenue stream, then I would say go for Kajabi. That is exactly what it was built for, and it is set up to make doing all of those things so easy. And you can also have your main website on there pretty easily as well. If you are somewhere in between, like right now you're offering services, but you would like to add digital products in the future, I think that's something to think through really, really carefully, because I have had the situation for quite a few clients actually, where they're doing just one-to-one services and they don't have any aspirations of selling digital products or courses or memberships. So we build our site on Squarespace and it's like a fairly robust site. And then they come back to me 3 or 4 years down the road and they say, okay, I want to launch a membership. And so then I steer them towards Kajabi, because to be fully transparent, while Squarespace does now offer a course and membership feature, I would not recommend it. I don't think it's fully fleshed out. I don't think it works very well. It feels like an afterthought to me, if I'm being completely honest. So then I have to tell these people, okay, well, your best bet for that is Kajabi. And then we have to make the tough decision of, do we move their whole website from Squarespace to Kajabi, or do we keep their website on Squarespace and their digital products on Kajabi, which is fine. We can make that work easily enough, but then they're paying for 2 subscriptions, which is really annoying. Second question I would ask is, how important is a really flexible and custom design to you? I think Squarespace very slightly edges out Kajabi here. I think that they give a little more design control and flexibility. It's a little easier to use. You can customize it a bit more. You can still make a gorgeous website with Kajabi. Do not get me wrong. But I think that you are very slightly more limited here. So that's something to consider as well. The third question I would ask is, where are you at in your business right now, especially as far as revenue goes? Squarespace is significantly more affordable than Kajabi. So if you don't have any aspirations of ever selling any digital products, I would 100% tell you to go with Squarespace. Plans run roughly $20 to $50-ish a month if you're on the annual billing plan. So it's a pretty low risk starting point versus Kajabi is in the $100+ a month. Again, the difference there is that you're selling products on Kajabi. So hopefully your website is making you money. Additionally, I would add in here that you can do your email marketing through Kajabi. You can also do it through Squarespace, but again, it doesn't function as well on Squarespace as I would like for me to be comfortable recommending it. Kajabi's email marketing feature is actually pretty solid. So you could consolidate your email marketing, your digital product sales, and your website all into Kajabi. And you need to consider then how much are you spending for each of those things versus just paying for Kajabi to figure out if that's a worthwhile investment for you. But my best guidance here for you would be if you are new and you're still testing your offers and you just need like a really basic website, I would say start where the financial risk is going to be a little bit lower on Squarespace. You can always move to Kajabi down the road. If that turns out to be the right move for you, I would not go too far down the road before doing that, but it's not the end of the world to change website platforms. I would hate to see somebody spend $100 to $200 a month on Kajabi and be paying for features that they don't really need while they're still trying to find traction in their business. Number 4, I sort of touched on this already, but how do you plan to handle things like email marketing and automations in your business? Kajabi and Squarespace both have a lot of this built in. Kajabi far and away takes the cake here. Their email marketing is so much better. They have a funnel building system that's pretty solid. You can host a podcast on Kajabi now, which is cool. I have not tried it out yet, but I've heard good things about it. Versus Squarespace, while they do have some of those features, again, I just would not feel comfortable recommending them to a client in the stage that they're in now. So you're going to need to use another service for things like email marketing and automations and those type of things. Again, meaning that you have multiple subscriptions versus maybe just the one with Kajabi. I would also say to test it out. Some people really don't like Kajabi's email marketing system. I don't use it. I use Kit, but some clients really love it. So playing around with it and seeing, okay, is this something I'm going to enjoy using? Would be huge. And then the last question is something that clients ask me all the time. Which one's better for SEO? I'm going to tell you that platform does not matter as much as you think it does for SEO. I think Squarespace has a little bit more SEO features built in and makes it very slightly easier, but you can still have a very strong SEO presence on either Squarespace or Kajabi. So I would not let that be a deciding factor for you. I know that you will find conflicting advice all over the internet. I've seen great SEO results with both Squarespace and Kajabi. So if that is something you're wondering, my honest answer to you would be don't worry about it. Like it's a non-issue. Now, whichever platform you choose, and if this is something that you still are feeling stumped on, book a brand chat with me and I'll just talk you through it or send me a voice note on Instagram and I will help you decide. But choose with intention and choose the platform that's going to fit best for where your business is going, not where your business is right now. I told the story already. I can think of like 5 clients off the top of my head who built their sites on Squarespace or on Showit or whatever, and then decided, oh, now I want to launch a course or a membership or a digital product shop. And so now I need to go to Kajabi. And now it's a big hassle to either move their website over or be kind of on both platforms and trying to connect those and make them talk to each other and then paying double subscription fees every month. So build for where you are going, not just where you are today. Switching platforms is doable. I don't want to discourage you if you are on another platform and now you're thinking, oh, maybe I should switch to one of these two. It's fine. We can do it. But of course, it's easier not to. But the real moral of the story here is don't get paralyzed by this decision. Think about it. Do your research. Start free trials of all the platforms you're considering and play around with them a little and figure out which one feels the best for you. But don't let choosing a website platform be something that keeps you stuck. Make a decision, move forward. If you need to course correct later, you can. It's not the end of the world. It might not be ideal, but it's not going to ruin your business. So to recap, things to think about when you're choosing between Squarespace and Kajabi are: what is your primary revenue model? If it's done for you services, choose Squarespace. If it's courses, memberships, group programs, or digital products, choose Kajabi. How important is design flexibility to you? If it is super, super, super important, Squarespace is probably going to be better for you. If functionality is more important, go with Kajabi. What's your budget like? If you can afford $100 to $300 a month for Kajabi, then great. If not, then you probably need to start with something like Squarespace. And finally, how important is it for you to have email marketing and tech automations built in to whatever website platform you choose versus having to use multiple services for those. If you really want a true all-in-one solution for your website, your course, your membership, your digital products, your email marketing, your automations, go with Kajabi. If you're fine using different platforms for each of those things, then Squarespace can be a great cost-effective solution for you. Again, both platforms offer free trials. Take advantage of them. Links to grab those free trials will be in the show notes to make it super easy on you. I build in both of these platforms every single day, and I can genuinely tell you that you can't go wrong. But if you still have questions and you want to talk through which platform I think is best for your specific business, book a brand chat, shoot me a voice note on Instagram. I am happy to talk you through this and help you make this decision so that you can take that next step in your business. Thanks for tuning in to the Six Figure Brand Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to rate the show and leave a review on whatever app you're listening on. And as a thank you, I'll send you coffee on me. Yes, I'm serious. As a smaller show for now, you taking the time to do this makes a huge impact on how we can reach more people and how I can continue to create this content for free. When you take a screenshot of your review, follow and tag me on Instagram at @SpectandCo. I'll send you a $5 Starbucks gift card. As always, don't forget to check out the show notes for any links or resources I mentioned during the episode. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you next week.